Welcome. Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the upcoming story chapter, Act 4 Chapter 5 Part 2, Dreams and Dawns, featuring the returning Fujin from Final Fantasy VIII and Zidane from Final Fantasy IX. The event synergy units are Fujin, Reigns, Cinque, Zidane, Sherlotta and Lion. Both Fujin and Zidane will be getting their reworks and FR boards. Fujin's Burst and Zidane FR will be making their debut. All featured units will be getting their force enhancements level 50 unlocked. We will be fighting ExDeath, boss form, which has a whooping 600 million HP. It has no major resistances. The turn requirement is 45. The HP requirements is 8000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Iris, Setzer, Rosa, Queen, Braska, Rem, Yuna, Pernello, Sherlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Fujin, Selpha that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. On the screen, I have listed down the examples of the key utility that you can consider for this fight. Generally, here is a key point to take note on the fight. The boss has a biggest HP pool of any bosses that we have faced to date. But on the other side, we will see the value of the FR retain mechanics. The boss has a standard attack rotation. When its HP dropped to 69%, 49%, 29%, it will activate Murderous Intent Rises, where it will gain a red aura which raises its defense and HP damage resistance. If you give it a turn to act, it will use Meteor++, which is an AoE guaranteed hit brave plus HP attack. To remove the attack, you need to trigger a launch on the boss, otherwise the boss will keep on spamming Meteor++ whenever it takes a turn until the red aura is dispelled. For launch units with FR, you can consider bringing Fujin, Zidane, Sid Reigns, Arania, Cloud, Noctis, Dark Knight Cecil, or Tifa. As the boss has a massive pool of HP, a rush-down team comp that utilizes launches and follow-up will be more preferred. For off-turn damage attackers, you can consider Core, Weiss, Leo, Noctis, Seven, or Dorgan. Off-turn damage attackers can work as well. Aurabots that boost your party attack are highly recommended here, as with the usual FR charger supports like Aerith, Rosa, Sherlotta, Ram, Braska, or Iris. Selphie is a good budget support option since her Rapture debuff will guaranteed launches on all your attacks. The non-FR battery supports like Celtius, Lena, Queen, Locke, Enacross and Sarah are also good options to be used here. To cancel the boss force time, you need to either deal Wind Brave damage with a FR or use a FR that inflict at least one debuff. The boss force time will allow the boss deal Brave cap damage. This can be deadly if its red aura is active, and it will heal back 100% of any HP damage received. To enable wind elemental damage, you can bring wind enchanters like Dorgan with his BT aura, or the wind enchanter support like Bartz or Fujin. For FR that inflict at least one debuff, options are plenty. Examples that you can consider are Zidane, Celtius, Pain, Leo, Sephiroth, and Jill Nabate. Overall, it is a relatively simple mechanic fight, except the boss has an absurd amount of HP with the tight turn requirements of 45 turns. Luckily, FR Retain is here so you can make use of the new mechanic to make the fight easier. As we are no longer have Lufania Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. As your party has low force levels, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss will also gain 4% charge rate up when your party members act. When the gauge reaches 50% and above, the boss gains an aura that raises its attack, defense, and brave damage by 50%. When the gauge reaches 70% and above, the boss gains an aura that raises its attack, defense, and brave damage by 70%. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. At the 100% threshold, the boss will use its force ability, Meteor Plus, where it will reset its own break status, followed by an AoE Magic Brave plus HP. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time, where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 10 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, the boss will gain the following enhancements. All brave damage dealt by the boss will be brave cap damage or rainbow. The boss will also heal back 100% of HP damage received. To deal the boss force weakness, you need to meet either one of the following conditions: use a FR that deals wind brave damage, or use a FR that inflict at least 1 debuffs. For the first condition, you can use a wind FR like Dorgan, or bring party wind enchant with Fujin, Bartz, or have Dorgan activates his BT. For the second condition, there are a lot of FR that could meet the conditions. Examples of FR that you can consider are Zidane, Celtius, Pain, General Leo, Jilnabate, and Sephiroth. Now, let us go through the fight key mechanics. When the boss HP dropped to 69%, 49%, and 29% HP threshold, you trigger the condition Murderous Intent Rises, where the boss will gain a red aura which will increases its defense by 100% and raises its HP damage resistances by 30%. This is followed by a prompt that says Knock back ExDeath. Trigger a launch will remove the aura, which will trigger the condition Murderous Intent Weakened. Upon trigger a launch, you will remove the red aura. If you didn't launch the boss and give the boss a turn to act, it will use Meteor Plus. Meteor Plus is a guaranteed hit, AoE Magic Brave plus HP attack. The boss will always uses Meteor Plus as its default attack as long as the red aura is active. Generally, there are 2 ways to do this. One is that you play by the rule and launch the boss. You can bring launchers like Fujin, Zidane, Sid Reigns, Arania, Cloud, Lael, Kais, Selphie, Dark Knight Cecil, Noctis, etc. If you are bringing non-launcher, you can use a launch call like Reigns LDCA, Ramza LDCA, or Lael LDCA. Base calls like Reigns CA, Cloud CA, Dark Knight Cecil CA, and Fang CA also works here. The second method is that you can deny the boss with rebreak, turn deletion, or delay utility. If the boss can't get the turn to act, the boss is generally a punching bag for you. Like the recent battles, fight features minimal mechanics. The boss has a standard basic rotation. All of them are single target attacks. It will start off with White Hole, a single Magic Brave plus HP attack. On its next turn, it will use Flare, a single target Magic Brave attack. If the red aura is active, the boss will use Meteor Plus instead. Meteor Plus is a guaranteed hit, reset break status, AoE Brave plus HP attack. Although the fight mechanics are simple, it will be taking a while for you to kill the boss if you do not bring a full team of FR units, as the boss has a massive HP pool of 600 million. Deploying a rush-down team comp that utilizes launches, delays, and follow-up attacks should enable you kill the boss easily without much difficulty. With the boss mechanics explained, let us proceed to the FR Burst Kit review of the featured units. Let me start with our favorite monkey boy, Zidane. Zidane has received a decent upgrade and a very nice FR. If his overhead buff is active, he can delete boss turns when inflicting a break. He will also be dealing weakness damage if his Thief Mark debuff is active on the boss. Zidane is one of the game's fastest characters, and due to his turn deletion mechanics, he is more suitable for a rush-down team comp. If you are building Zidane and playing the game for the first time, do check the weapon red token shop and exchange for his alternate 15 CP weapon. That weapon passive gives him some nice stats boost. As long as you pair him with 2 ladies, Zidane will have extra motivation to do his best. Okay, now let us proceed to talk about his FR. His FR is an AoE melee brave plus HP attack. It will inflict his thief mark debuff, 50% defense down and 40% speed down debuff for 5 turns. The ability will grant Zidane his thievery buff, 50% defense up and 40% speed up buff. If you have his overhead buff, Zidane will delete the target's turn if he break them. If the boss has at least one debuff present on it, your party will gain HP damage bonus 20% and 20% boost to max brave cap. Like the recent FR, the force conditions for his FR are generic. Attack a debuff target will get you 40% HP damage bonus. Zidane can reliably inflict debuffs with bulk of his skills. With his turn deletion mechanic, you probably do not even need to worry about the debuff's expiry unless the boss has debuff cleansing mechanics. Upon inflicting break or attacking a broken target will get you another 40% HP damage. With his thief mark, Zidane will always be hitting weakness brave damage. His skills have lots of brave hits, so he should not have much difficulty in breaking targets. If you want to make your job easier in meeting the FR conditions, you can freeze the boss brave or set them to single digits with BT effect like Iris or Sephiroth. Due to Zidane's innate turn deletion mechanic, this FR can be quite useful when you need to remove the boss turns and has one of the easier conditions to meet for a generic FR phase. Now, let me cover on his BT aura. The BT aura lasts for 10 turns. Like most BT auras, the BT gives the following standard auras for the party: raises party brave damage by 60%, brave damage cap by 50%, stolen max brave overflow by 20%, and raises the max brave cap by 30%. If the boss has an active debuff, your party will also get a 50% HP damage bonus. The BT will benefit Zidane a lot. It will raise his max brave cap by 50%. While his BT aura active and whenever Zidane inflicts a debuff, you will trigger Stole Elixir where it will heal the party HP by 100% of Zidane's max brave, and any excess heals will be converted to brave. So, should I pull and build Zidane? Again, we are in an era where you should evaluate more on building your team roster needs or consider it for Crystal Quest objectives. If your blue crystal roster is lacking, Zidane is a very valuable addition. If deny boss turns and rush down strategy is your style of gameplay, Zidane is an excellent addition. Now let us proceed to the other featured unit, Fujin. Before I end the guide, let us cover a bit on featured FRBT unit, Fujin. Like Zidane, Fujin gets some nice upgrades, and her wind/field effect does provide some off-turn HP damage. She is a ranged wind party enchanter who can reliably triggers launches with her abilities. Okay, now let us proceed to talk about her FR. Without her FR echo boards, this is one of the most restrictive FR. Upon using her FR, Fujin will battery the party with 50% of her max brave, followed by a AoE wind ranged brave plus HP attack that delays all targets and launch the targeted unit. During her FR phase, the party will gain auras that raises brave damage dealt by 10%, HP damage by 20% and max brave cap by 20%. The force conditions are quite restrictive if you do not have her burst or a launch enabler. Using a wind elemental ability will get your 30% HP damage bonus. Fujin enchant the party with wind. Pair her with wind elemental units or non-elemental units. To make full use of launches, battery supports are a vital part of the team comp. Fortunately for Fujin, most of the battery supports are non-elemental. Upon triggering a launch, you will get 60% HP damage bonus. With her rework, Fujin can trigger launch as long you have the plus variant of her skills. If you have Selfie, use her LD for the Rapture debuff and meet this condition will be relatively easy. If you have Fujin BT or uses Rain's FR phase, you can also guarantee launches all the time. Generally, it is an FR that delays and launch the target. Let me cover a bit on his BT aura. The BT aura lasts for 8 turns. When the BT is active, Fujin will gain an aura that boosts her max brave cap by 50%. Like most BT auras, the BT gives the following standard auras for the party. It will raise the party brave damage cap by 20%, HP damage by 50%, max brave cap by 30%, brave gain overflow by 50% and brave gains by 50%. The BT aura also gives some unique auras that you cannot find in other BT. It enables all your party attacks to trigger launches. Have this effect active, it will allow you to meet Fujin FR condition easier. Here comes the part why Fujin BT is one of the highly coveted BT. The BT aura will boost your launch wall damage. If you trigger a launch with one ally in the launch, you will get 10% boost. If you trigger a launch with 2 allies in the launch, you will get 20% boost. If you trigger a launch with 3 allies in the launch, you will get 25% boost. Do take note that only Arania BT and Rain's BT allows you meet the final condition. If you have either Rain's or Arania Green, Fujin can make their launches do double damage due to the wall damage effect. An example is if a unit does 80 million HP damage under force and stuff and it includes the 2 allies attacks, then the wall damage normally is 16 million damage. Fujin's BT effect will make it 32 million damage added. If it was Rain's or Arania then the damage is 20 million normally and it will become 40 million HP damage with Fujin BT aura active. If launching and rush down team comp is your cup of tea, Fujin BT is a very valuable investment to make. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.